Hello, this is the 159th edition of Catch of the Day, available on the Branch Talk YouTube channel. Today we're going to continue reading from Doug Mitchell's book, When the Siege Has Ended, EZ5, The Judgement for the Living. Starting at the top of page 55, we read from Ellen White, "To those who receive the Spirit, Holy Spirit, of this service, it can never become a mere ceremonial. Whenever this ordinance is rightly celebrated, the children of God are brought into holy relationship to help and bless each other. They covenant that the life shall be given to unselfish ministry, and this not only for one another. Their field of labor is as wide as their master's was. The world is full of those who need our ministry. The poor, the helpless, the ignorant are on every hand. Those who have communed with Christ in the upper chamber will go forth to minister as he did. All this was comprehended in the words of Jesus, 'I have given you an example that ye should do as I have done to you.' This was the intent of the service he established. And he says, 'If ye know these things, if ye know the purpose of his lessons, happy are ye if you do them.' Christ, by the Holy Spirit, is there to set the seal of his own ordinance. It is at these, his own appointments, that Christ meets his people and energizes them by his presence. All who come with their faith mixed or fixed upon him will be greatly blessed. All who neglect these seasons of divine privilege will suffer loss. Of them it may appropriately be said, 'Ye are not all clean.' The communion service points to Christ's second coming. It was designed to keep his hope vivid in the minds of his disciples. In their tribulation they found comfort in the hope of their Lord's return. Unspeakably precious to them was the thought, 'As often as ye eat of this bread and drink of this cup, ye do show the Lord's death till he come.' 1 Corinthians 11:26. These are the things we are never to forget. The love of Jesus, with its constraining power, is to be kept fresh in our memory. Desire of Ages 650 to 661. Okay. What a predicament the Davidians are in. The message they bear forbids them from keeping the Lord's Supper among themselves, and thus receiving the great blessings that are brought by keeping it. They cannot easily keep it with Adventists if those Adventists know that they are Davidians. Moreover, as they are not in the habit of keeping it among themselves, they are not regularly examining themselves among themselves as they should be. Therefore they are suffering the very loss Ellen White said would be the case for those who didn't partake in the Spirit's work at those times of divine appointment. The Adventists are no better off because their leaders cannot truly confess their condition that manifested itself in their unchristian treatment of the rod and brand's messages and messengers, nor can the laity who supported them in said actions. Therefore they do not truly profit from their foot-washing experiences. While we have been given a significant amount of light regarding the purification of the church and how it relates to the Passover and the Lord's Supper, there is yet another aspect of the antitypical Passover. That is, that the Feast of Unleavened Bread is also called the Passover, Luke 22:1. As bread is a symbol of truth doctrine, the leaven a symbol of sin, in its connection with the Passover, then the antitypical Feast of Unleavened Bread would be a 7-day feast on pure unleavened truth doctrine. But for the church to experience that wonderful feast, everyone who will be keeping it will have to be free from any desire to preach self. Yet that very thing is what is necessary for us to realize the wonderful Reformation spoken of in 9T 126, which is the primary object of the rod, and thus the branch messages. The evil of private interpretation has done more to disorganize, disrupt, and retard the progress of the truth than any other evils together, than all other evils together. These so-called professors of truth need to realize that they are not fighting God, but against Him. They are not fighting for God, but against Him. The Atonement and the Passover Feast, page 9. Wherefore he saith, Awake, thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Christ shall give thee light. Ephesians 5:14. I want to speak to the ears of our people in America, in every church. Awake from the dead, and Christ will give you life. Souls are perishing for the light of truth, as it is in Jesus. Thank you very much. Take care.